Hi everybody. So I wanted to do a quick video and I suppose tell you all about my journey and how I went from a contingent recruiter to being a coach here at Retrained Search. I suppose to frame it first, I would say there are so many misconceptions about retained or executive search. Firstly, about what it is. A lot of people aren't too sure, but they think it's something that should be reserved for senior hires and for executive level positions, and something that should only be delivered by very senior people in three-piece suits in London. I think because of those misconceptions, there's a little bit of imposter syndrome that can creep in, and misconceptions then develop as to, are they capable of doing this, or is it a field that they should play in? And as I say, I want to tell you my journey because I found that they are all big misconceptions and they are wrong. Because let me tell you, I'm just a normal lad. And if I can do it, then you absolutely can do it too. So, as I said, I'm a normal lad. I went to university in Manchester. I got a business degree and I just kind of fell into sales, to be honest. My first job was selling adverts in the yellow pages in the business directory, which was a good grounding. It was fast paced and fun and I enjoyed it. And still to this day, I'm convinced if you can keep a plumber on the phone at 3 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, then you can keep anyone on the phone. A quick redundancy later, due to the office shutting down, I went on to sell apprenticeships. Enjoyed that, did that for a period of time for one of the UK's biggest training providers, and ended up selling a few apprenticeship courses to a recruitment business in my hometown of Warrington. Before I knew it, I was in said recruitment business, being taught how to pull jobs and how to spec CVs. I felt like I was okay at it. I felt like I was doing well. I probably wasn't the best biller in the office, but I certainly wasn't the worst biller in the office. I was okay for the first 12 or 18 months. And then I found myself starting to get increasingly frustrated. Frustrated at the model, frustrated at KPIs that I felt drove the wrong behavior. Things like how many CVs I sent, not the quality of those CVs and how many positions that I necessarily filled. I think the problem that I had looking back, and it's a similar problem that a lot of recruiters face, recruiters that I speak to now, is that there was nobody in our business that could show me anything different. Everybody in that business had been trained the same way to follow the same process and do the same thing. So I ended up sitting there thinking, is this just a generic recruitment frustration? Is recruitment for me? And I probably ended up getting very close to the point of leaving the recruitment industry and going to do something else. But fortunately for me, just as that happened, I was introduced to a lady called Louise Archer. And Louise had a training course, something called Retrained Search, I think. And I was fortunate enough to be enrolled on that course. What that told me and what Louise taught me over the coming months was that me not securing any of my work on a retained basis was not due to a lack of capability. It was due to two things. Firstly, a lack of knowledge. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know why customers would buy it. And I didn't know how or when to position it to them. And the other thing that was holding me back was a lack of confidence. But that kind of came because of the lack of knowledge. So I went through the training course. I came out the other side of it convinced that this was the way forward for me, for my career, and convinced I was going to make it work. I jumped 2 foot in, like I normally do in most things. And I told my clients I was never going to work on a contingent basis ever again. And I never did. I successfully secured a lot of retained business at my employer at the time before moving to a more traditional search firm and spending several years working on international assignments all across the globe at varying levels, from engineers in the UK to vice presidents in the US and managing directors across Europe. And then, having spent a few years being a part of the retained community, still keeping in touch with Louise, I'm now really fortunate to help our members be able to achieve the same thing. So I want to tell you all that irrespective of your experience, irrespective of the markets you work in, the seniority of the roles that you recruit, you absolutely can do it. You can transition your desk, your business from 100% contingent to 100% retained. You can stop working on pesky contingent roles with no commitment, where clients and candidates alike don't give you the commitment you need, and you can start securing your work on a retained basis, working in partnership with commitment, which ultimately allows you to do a proper job. Because as I say, if I can do it, then any of you can do it.